Alrighty, time now to talk some weather, and for that we're going to turn back to meteorologist Cedric Haynes over in Studio B. And Cedric, we're talking about another hot day. It's the summer solstice, but summer doesn't officially start until later today.
That's right, Latrice. At 4:51 today, that's the official summer solstice. Of course, that's when you make that complete rotation around the sun there. But of course, keep in mind, we've been feeling like summer in meteorological summer, I guess you could say, since the beginning of the month. But yes, if you are setting the alarm clocks, 4:51 this afternoon. All right, what's our next big thing? Just in time for the official summer solstice, you guessed it, more heat and humidity heading our way, and that's what we're going to be kind of focusing on here over the next couple of days. So 83 degrees currently in Murphy, 85 in Athens, 82 in Altamont. We've got 85 degrees in Scottsboro, Dalton, Calhoun, 80 in Blue Ridge, and 82 degrees currently in Lafayette, 84 degrees in Cleveland. Now, as we look at the temperatures across the country, you can see a clear difference between the warm and humid air across the southeastern half of the country and the much cooler air off towards the north and west. But that frontal boundary here is almost retreating back to the north and west, which means that cool air is not going to be heading our way. In fact, we're going to see this heat dome continuing to build back in from the north and west. Look at this. It's 86 degrees in Chattanooga, Tennessee right now. It's 91 degrees currently in Portland, Maine. That's not something you see too often. So let's talk about the heat and humidity building over this pattern that we'll continue to track. This big heat dome, high pressure will continue to retrograde back towards the south and west, and that's going to continue to keep the heat and the humidity kind of baking right across the Tennessee Valley. Now, the main storm track is going to go up and around us, so areas like Utah over towards Wyoming and up towards Michigan, that's where you're going to see the chances of showers and storms, but we are going to be protected through the end of the week by this heat dome. But as we go into the weekend and especially heading into next week, I think this heat dome will build back south and west enough to allow for a few of those storms to potentially kind of make that right turn and drop down into the Tennessee Valley. But that may not occur until about the beginning of next week. So don't get your hopes up too much, but at least some relief potentially in sight in the distant future. For the rest of this afternoon, though, as you mentioned, it's going to be all about the heat out there. 89 degrees at 1 p.m. We'll be in the 90s as we go throughout this afternoon. So I think getting close to that 93-degree mark in many spots across the area today with a lot of sunshine out there and the winds not too strong. So not a lot of relief expected. So we'll go with officially about 93 degrees here in Chattanooga. Again, as the official summer solstice occurs, we're looking at that hot weather here in place. And then tonight we've got quiet conditions, mostly clear skies. It's going to stay on the dry and muggy side as our overnight lows drop down to right around 70 degrees or so. So not a big cool down expected across the area. And then tomorrow, yes, we get hot again, mostly sunny skies. We'll go with those mid-90s returning across the area. And of course, with the humidity staying pretty decent and pretty high all the way through next week, guess what that means? That means we are going to be talking about a heat index here that's going to be with us. In fact, as you get towards the weekend, heading into the beginning of next week, getting very close to that dangerous 105 mark there. So those temperatures are going to be hot. The humidity is going to be high, and that's going to mean some dangerous heat indices potentially later this weekend. So high pressure keeping us hot and dry through most of the weekend, but notice this is what I was talking about. We'll be watching some storms to the north and west as we get towards Sunday night into Monday, and it may be enough to try to squeeze out a few of those isolated storms here in the Tennessee Valley. Rain chances are not high, but they do increase as we head into the beginning of next week. So that is something that we'll keep an eye on. I do want to let you know Tropical Depression Alberto has weakened as it's moved inland. So we'll move on now to any new potential systems, and I'll talk more about that a little later. But hotter weather going into the weekend, Latrice, with that sunshine, highs in the mid to upper 90s. We'll keep our fingers crossed next week. We'll want to see a few of those isolated showers and storms.
Yeah, we will need those by then. Thank you so much, Cedric.